I'm Venice, your host, and here at Your Entrepreneur Resources, we discover the no fluff action steps to help you avoid all the overwhelm and all the BS out there, connecting you with the right mentors, resources, and tools, helping you every step of the way on your entrepreneurial journey. We go live here twice a week, interviewing different entrepreneurs and experts on all areas of business. So make sure to join our Facebook group and look out for the events inside your entrepreneur resources. You can find all the links in the description box. Today, I have a really special guest with me. It is Melanie Herschorn. How are you doing today?
I am doing so great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to chat with you all about being authentic online. So before we do that, Melanie is a content marketing strategist and coach on a mission to empower female entrepreneurs. Her goal is to support women business owners to land more clients by conquering their content marketing challenges. In this interview with Melanie, we're going to be discussing the importance of being authentic online through your business and your content. Super awesome topic. Excited to dive right in. But before we get started, do you mind sharing a little bit more about your business and your journey with us?
Oh, I would love to. Thank you. So I never thought I'd actually do this. I had a different plan in life, but you know what they say, woman plans and God laughs. So I started out in PR in Hollywood. Then I worked as a journalist. And then when I was 5 months pregnant, I got laid off from my job and thought, oh my gosh, what now? So what happened? I decided to design breastfeeding clothing. And so I did that. I became an entrepreneur. And then when I was finished with that, I moved into marketing full time. And now I am a content marketing strategist and I absolutely love it. And I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. No, I think your journey is so interesting because it's never just, I was born and then I became an entrepreneur. There's so many little like different ways and everyone's path, everyone's journey is different, and I love that. So let's talk a little bit more about being authentic, because I love, just being honest and genuine online as much as I possibly can. Why do you think it's so important to stay authentic online?
Oh, what a great question. Okay. So when you are scrolling Facebook, for example, and you see a post that says, I made 14K in one
Mhm.
month, drop a comment below and I'll give you my exact strategy. You're like, oh, well, A, you just made me feel really bad about myself because I didn't have a 14K month. B, can I trust you? C, now I'm just really upset and I'm going to go close Facebook, right? So the reason you want to be authentic online is so that you can attract your ideal customer. You want to be you. You are your brand. As an entrepreneur, you are your brand. Yes, you might have a different name, but it's really you.
Mhm.
And when you are authentically you online, you are going to get people to know you, to like you, to trust you. And that's how you're going to grow your community and ultimately grow your wallet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really interesting that you brought up, like all these ads that are like, oh, I made however much money overnight or whatever.
Yeah,
And to be honest, I feel like that's the strategy that a lot of entrepreneurs are teaching these days, don't you think?
I
Like,
do. Like
yeah.
it's like hit them while they're down, make them feel bad about themselves, and then they'll hire you. I don't ascribe to that. I much prefer to make somebody feel good about themselves so
Hmm.
that then they can go, "Oh, I like how I feel when I'm with her. I want to continue to be with her and see how she can help me grow my business." And
No,
it
definitely.
I mean, it's like we're taught as marketers to know, problem solution.
Hmm.
Show your ideal client what their problem is and provide a solution. But you can do it in a nice way,
Hmm.
in a way that makes them feel good and feel ready to work with you, not a way that makes them feel, I guess, bad about themselves. It's the only way to that's how it makes me feel. It makes me feel bad about myself. So
Yeah, no, definitely. I completely agree. I love that you brought this up. I think we should come back to it a little bit later, but how do you think entrepreneurs should stay authentic then? Like, how do they, present themselves online in an authentic, genuine, honest way. It can get hard because it's so easy to lie online, right?
Yeah, sure it is. I mean, I guess okay, so my mom always drilled into me to never lie. I had to like I'm like a self-taught white liar because she couldn't even handle a white lie. But I find that the best way to be authentic online is just to be you and to
Mhm.
know that you are enough. You're more than enough, actually. You are uniquely you. You have a unique skill set, you have a unique experience, you have a unique background, and you are important. And you are. Each
Mhm.
one of us, we're like snowflakes, right? We're all different.
Yep.
And so if you have a message that you want to put out online, do it because I'll bet you're going to help somebody today.
Mhm.
I know you're going to be able to help somebody so much more if you're true and you're authentic than if you go and you do what everybody else is doing. You're just going to be, there's so much noise coming at us online. So when you can stand out as authentically you, you're going to get people are going to become your super fans. They're going to be like, oh, wait, I really love what Venice is saying. Like, I love it. And she's talking to me, and that's how you grow your community and you grow your business as a whole. It
Mhm.
is by being, I mean, who can really pretend to be somebody else for that long?
That's
And
true.
we know phoniness. We're online all the time. We can spot phoniness a mile away, right? And if it's inside, if it inside it doesn't feel good, there's a reason.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, when we talk about being authentic, let's break it down a tiny bit more and dive a little bit deeper. What exactly is being authentic? Because I know it's easy to say, yeah, like we should be authentic, but for example, like how much should we expose ourselves? Like how deep into our personal lives should we get? Like into our values, should we express ourselves online? Because there's like a little bit of like a gray area, like how much is too much, right? So what do you
Absolutely.
think about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like TMI, there's
Yeah.
a reason it's hyphenated, right? Or not
Right.
hyphenated, I'm sorry. There's a reason there's an acronym of TMI because it's like, stop, I don't want to know.
Mhm.
But being vulnerable is good.
Mhm.
Being real is good. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be happy and proud of yourself. Being yourself is the greatest thing you can possibly do online. So I'll give you an example. I wear fake nails,
Mhm.
and these ones look really awesome because I glued them on, and sometimes they fall off. And sometimes I'll be doing a live and I talk with my hands a lot. I don't know why, but I do. And sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, look at my finger. I'm missing a fake nail. And like that kind of thing, it makes somebody go, oh, she's real.
Yeah.
She's not trying to be perfect. And that is I mean, I wish we could bottle that and sell it because when you are really you and you show people that you're not just some phony person, some talking head on a screen, they're going to go, "Oh, wait a second. I want to hear more about what this person has to say."
Mhm.
So, truly to answer your question, how much is too much? The answer is too much, you get to decide what's too much.
Mhm.
You are the gatekeeper. You set up the boundaries, whatever you feel comfortable talking about. I come from a family where we tell people way too much stuff that like you don't want to know. So when I go online, I kind of do the same thing. But if you come from a more reserved background where you're really not supposed to air your dirty laundry and everything's hush hush, well then yeah, you might struggle a little bit with what can I put out online. But the answer is whatever you feel comfortable doing because you are online. You are putting out content so that people get to know, like, and trust your business and
Mhm.
you. And
Definitely.
if they don't know you, they're not going to hire you.
I agree. No, definitely. So when it comes to okay, so once we've established, okay, we want to be this give away this much information, we want to be super TMI, how do we kind of convey that through our business? Like where do we be authentic? I know it's like a weird
No, I love
question
it.
because, like, yeah, like for example, on your website, your social media, like where are the areas that we should try to like remain consistent in the sense of how authentic we are?
I love this. All right. So you want to be you everywhere you are. You want to be the same. But a website
Mhm.
is not going to be the same as your Insta stories. So on your Insta stories, you might have, maybe you have children and they're running around like banshees covered in like green paint. Okay. This didn't actually happen to me, but I could see it happening. I wouldn't put that on my website.
Mhm.
But every platform has a certain format to it. So on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media, except for LinkedIn, but we'll get back to that in a second. Yes, go all out, be all
Mhm.
vulnerable. In your emails, you can be vulnerable and you can be TMI because that's your community, right? Those people signed up to be there. Those people pressed follow.
Mhm.
LinkedIn, there's some discussion about that. I wouldn't, maybe post a video of kids running around in green paint, but maybe that's what you want to show, and that's okay.
Mhm.
But your website is really like your resume. So your website, there's a format to it because you only have about 3 seconds of people seeing that. So you really want to get the one question you want to answer on your website is what's in it for me? Meaning the person who gets to your website and they want to know what's in it for me. So you want to be able to answer that question. But in terms of your email, your content that you're putting out regularly, absolutely do what feels good so that people get to know you because
Mhm.
they're going to be working with you or your product or your service and you're the one.
Mhm.
They need to know that they like you. And oh, let me say this, Vinny's too.
Yeah.
It's okay to repel them. It's okay to piss them off. And they're like, ugh, I can't stand that, Melanie. Why would you want to work? Well, that's good because you're not my ideal client.
Mhm. And it's okay. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that sometimes having that kind of first step to repel people really helps you build your business because then the people that kind of go through that hurdle and be like agreeing with you with those different things that you put out there makes them feel so much closer with you,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Can I give you an example?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
So a story, my why story. You know how every entrepreneur is supposed to have a why
Yeah.
story? Well, it took me a little bit of time to really figure out what my why story was. And once I did, I was happened to be live on Facebook, and then I'm crying on Facebook. It's not a pretty story. I'll tell you the abridged version. So while I was doing the maternity and nursing wear business, I hired somebody to help me with my social media and my emails. And over the course of a year, I paid her $25,000. I got no return on my investment other than I got emotionally abused so much that I felt like I was this big by the end of the year. And so I
Mm.
shut the business and I vowed that I would never let another woman entrepreneur feel belittled the way I had been belittled. And so now my mission is to support and empower women with their content, right? So I put that in an email to
Mm.
my email subscribers. I laid out the story and I entitled it, I'm Still Embarrassed. Because I am. In a way, how could I have let somebody take that kind of advantage of me? But at least I was able to turn it around and, make lemonade.
Mhm.
So I get an email response from somebody on my list. And it basically says, wow, I can't believe you sent an email with this kind of information in it. You should be ashamed.
Oh my gosh.
And and maybe you shouldn't be in business. God bless you.
I feel like we all have those stories where we get these negativity and we're like, so, but see, the thing is, like, I feel like all the negativity can have such huge impacts on us, right?
Yes. Not
Like we
always.
can get a lot of positive like testimonials, positive feedback, and we're like, yeah, but then the one negative comment, yeah, it could really bring you down.
Can't. But I'll tell you what, I was far enough in my mindset work, far enough along in my mindset work that I read that and I started laughing. And then I screenshotted it and I have it. So I use it as an example when I teach about being authentic online, because you are going to get haters. And
Mhm.
first of all, if you get haters, that means you were doing something right.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And
Preach.
and right? So you're doing something right, because that lady, she was not my ideal client. And I triggered something in her that made her project her feelings onto me, which means
Mhm.
my writing was spot on. So that said, it was actually a good thing.
Mhm.
But I mean, but again, that's me being vulnerable, authentic, and telling my story.
Yeah, no, honestly, like I'm so proud of you to have been able to go through that and take a positive look on it, because it is hard. It is hard to look at something and think positively while it's so negative. So that's amazing. I love that story. You talked about email list. You talked about Facebook Live. What other content outlets are there where you think people should? I mean, obviously, we should stay authentic with everything that we do, but what other key platforms are there where we can truly be vulnerable and show our authentic self?
Anytime you go live,
Hmm.
any platform, whether you're going live on TikTok, I'm not into TikTok. I love the idea of it, but I don't create TikToks. Um, Instagram Reels, you can be real, um, and Instagram Stories, Facebook, your Facebook group, any Facebook Live you do.
Hmm.
I mean, Pinterest doesn't really lend itself to anything other than prefabricated stuff.
Hmm.
Although now they have stories as well.
Yeah.
They have their own version.
Yeah.
But again, that's more prefab stuff.
Hmm.
Whereas anytime you can speak from the heart. Any
Yeah.
platform where you can speak from the heart is a place where you want to be 100% you.
Hmm.
And that's
Absolutely.
and that's going to resonate, right? That's going to resonate with your ideal client, because they're going to go, "Oh, I really get what Melanie's talking about." Or, "Gosh, I was laid off too." In fact, a client of mine, that email resonated with her. So I didn't tell you. So I
Hmm.
was laid off when I was pregnant
Hmm.
from my radio days. And I put that in an email. She wrote me, she was not my client yet, but she wrote me back and she said, "I was laid off when I was pregnant too."
Oh,
And she's been my client for a year.
amazing. It just
So,
really resonates when you tell these personal stories, right?
mhm. And if you tell a personal story and you can frame it in a way that will, speak to people and really talk about what it is that you do,
Hmm.
that's going to resonate too. So if I may tell you what happened to me yesterday,
Please.
I thank you. I was driving my children to the orthodontist
Mhm.
and I made a mug of coffee, kind of like this, and I didn't put it in a travel cup because
Oh.
I don't like the smell of the travel cups that we have, because I'm really high maintenance like that. So I'm driving with an open mug of coffee. Well, I made it to the orthodontist just fine, put the travel mug down, and knocked it over my elbow. And it was hot. I was covered in coffee. My entire bottom half was drenched. I looked like I had peed all over myself. And then I had to go into the orthodontist appointment and stand there dripping in coffee like an idiot. So I posted about this online yesterday and I said, if only I had used a travel mug, none of that would have happened. And let that be a lesson to you in terms of using your content from your content buckets. If you
Ah.
start using things outside of your content buckets, like an open mug, you're going to be wasting your time and basically the essentially spilling coffee all over your content. Stick to what you're supposed to be doing, and you won't be walking around with Nespresso butt. And that was basically so you see how I took something that happened in real life and then I changed it around to talk about what it is that I do, which is helping people create their content buckets and then sourcing from those to have a content marketing strategy.
I think that's absolutely incredible. Like, especially through storytelling. I feel like that's huge because the second you started telling me the story, I'm like, tell me more. What's next? Oh my gosh, what happened, right? How do you incorporate stories? I mean, you just give us a great example, but if it's hard sometimes to tie in our everyday lives with constructive, tips and things like that. How would you use stories besides this example right now in your content strategy to be able to really stay authentic and connect with your audience?
Okay. Well, if a great starting point is to tell a client story.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you have a client that you've worked with who started from nothing and now they're amazing because of your help. So tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy one. That's a no-brainer. The end of the story is they're happy and it's all because of you, right? So that's an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
But you can really take anything that happens in your daily life. You just have to think about it a little bit. And you have to think, well, what am I trying to show? And usually it's the success of whatever it is that you do. So for me, it's content marketing strategy. So how can I bring everything back to content marketing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
anything that happens to you. But I would say testimonials are a great place to start.
Yeah, definitely.
So to speak. Yeah.
And I love that you brought up about content buckets. How many content buckets / what type of content buckets do you think we need for our content strategy?
Okay. So every business is going to have something different.
Mm-hmm.
But I do say 4, like legs of a table. It just makes it easy. And it depends what you do. But, for me, my content buckets, one is mindset, because if you can have all the strategy in the world, but if you don't have the right mindset for your marketing, nothing's going to happen. So mindset, I have one, it's like email marketing, and I have social media marketing, and then I just have content in general, content planning in general. Mm-hmm. So it depends what you do. Mm-hmm. But usually it's going to become pretty clear to you what it is that you want to be talking about, because it's going to be the things that people ask you about. The low-hanging fruit that people ask you about a lot. And, maybe you're in health and wellness, and one of your content buckets is literally health, which is fine. And maybe one's nutrition, because that's, another one. Or, it depends. It really depends on what your brand is, mm-hmm. what your content buckets will be. But again, there's no right answers. So never feel like, oh my God, I got this wrong. I gotta just throw in the towel. Nope, you don't.
Always test the waters. Again, being authentic. It's about, putting yourself out there. It's not waiting for that perfect moment, for that one piece of content to be like, oh, that is gold. I'm going to send this one content out. That's never going to happen. It's about putting yourself out there, right?
Exactly. And, some things are going to fall flat, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try again.
Mm-hmm. Love that. What are some content strategy, like any other content strategy tips you have for us, especially when it comes to saving time? Because I know that entrepreneurs are always like, oh, I need fresh content. But we don't always need to keep producing content, right?
Okay, that's true. I like to say, don't reinvent the wheel, repurpose it. Mm-hmm. So let's say you have a month's worth of content that you already did. Look through it. What are the gems? Take something you posted on Instagram and make it your email for the week. Take something you post, take an email that you wrote and make that into a blog. And, don't forget that not everybody is going to read everything that you post. And it's okay to post it again, change a little bit, because what you're doing is you're building that momentum, and you're getting people to read it and then read it again. And they're like, oh, oh, this is interesting, right? What is it? 7 touch points you have to get at least just for them to remember you. And then it's like 16 for them to hire you or something like that. So keep touching them.
Yep. Absolutely. And no point creating, spending hours and hours creating one piece of content and just using it once. You need to especially evergreen content, keep sharing them, right?
Exactly. And sorry, that was my dog shaking his.
That's fine.
Um, I don't have a tambourine here or anything. So yeah, exactly. You want to just not waste your time, right? Time is so valuable. And let's say you write an email. Could you make that into 3 different Instagram posts because it's long enough that you could do that and then take it and also make a blog post? Or what if you start with a blog post and then you have 5 days worth of Instagram captions?
That's amazing. I love that.
Repurposing.
Yes, yes. I'm loving this conversation, but unfortunately, we have to stop wrapping up. I know you have a special gift for us. Do you mind sharing a little bit more about
I
that?
do know. I'm so excited. Okay, so we've been talking about content, right? And so I
Mhm.
have this really fun free quiz for everybody who's watching to take, and it's called the Winning Content Quiz to find out if your content is helping you land clients. So it's just at mycontentquiz.com.
Perfect. Oh, it's so easy. And I'll put it in the description box as well in case anyone's interested in taking the quiz. And before I let you go, do you mind sharing where people can connect with you online?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm everywhere, but I'm on Instagram at VIP Digital Content. You can totally find me there. DM me. I would love to hear from you. And I'm so
Thank you again so much for being on your Entrepreneur Resources show. You've given us so many great tips and strategies. I'm sure that a lot of us that's listening right now want to get a summary. So if you want to get the summary, make sure to check out the description box down below. We have our live interviews with experts here twice a week, so make sure to stay tuned and join our community. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll chat with you very soon.